Chapter 6, Mishnah 6. The previous Mishnah lists separate collection chests for wood, levona, and gold for service vessels. This Mishnah teaches how much a person must give if he vowed to contribute without stating an amount. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. If someone said, I hereby accept upon myself to contribute pieces of wood on the altar for the altar, he may not bring less than 2 blocks of wood, as large as those used on the altar. If he wishes to give money instead of bringing wood, he must deposit enough money for those 2 blocks of wood in the chest marked wood. If he vowed to contribute levona, he may not bring less than a kometz, i.e. the amount that fills the hollow formed by bending the 3 middle fingers over the palm, which is the amount of levona brought with a mincha offering. If he wishes to give money, he places enough money to buy a kometz in the chest marked levona. If he vowed to contribute a gold coin, he may not bring less than a gold dinar, the smallest gold coin. The Mishnah quotes and explains a clause in the previous Mishnah dealing with the last 6 collection chests. In the 6 remaining chests, Shekalim designated for voluntary communal offerings were deposited. What would they do with this money that was designated for voluntary offerings? They would buy extra communal olah offerings with it, whose meat was offered on the altar to Hashem and whose hides were given to the Kohanim. A biblical source for using surplus chatas and asha money to buy olah offerings. The following exposition of Leviticus chapter 5, verse 19, was expounded by Yehoyada the Kohen Gadol to yield the above law. After discussing one type of asham offering, the Torah concludes, it is an asham. For that which he has become guilty, he shall bring an asham to Hashem. It is an asham implies that this asham is treated like other asham offerings, whose meat is eaten by Kohanim. The end of the verse states explicitly, however, that this asham offering goes to Hashem. Yehoyada resolved this contradiction by explaining that the verse deals not with an actual asham offering, but rather with an offering bought with surplus funds of an asham, or of any other offering that atones for sin. Interpreted that way, this is the rule that the verse conveys. Any surplus funds that come from money set aside for a chatas offering or for an asham offering should be used to purchase olah offerings, whose meat is offered on the altar of Hashem and whose hides are given to the Kohanim. In so doing, it emerges that the 2 verse clauses are upheld. The end of the verse, he shall bring an asham to Hashem, means that the meat of this asham, namely the olah offering purchased with the asham funds, goes to Hashem. And the beginning of the verse, it is an asham, means that the hides go to the Kohanim, like those of any other asham. Since the collection chests contain surplus funds of chatas and asham offerings, they're used to buy olah offerings based on this rule. The source that it was Yehoyada, the Kohen Gadol, who presented the above explanation. And this is, as the verse states regarding the innovations of Yehoyada, see Kings 2, chapter 12, verse 17. Asham money and chatas money shall not be brought to the temple of Hashem. They shall be to the Kohanim. Now, Yehoyada surely would not have given to the Kohanim money that had been designated to buy a chatas or asham, which must obviously be used to buy the offerings. Rather, he must have given them some rights to the surplus funds of such offerings, namely, that they receive the hides of communal olah offerings purchased with those funds. This proves that it was Yehoyada who first expounded that surplus chatas and asham funds are used to purchase olah offerings.